What's going on, everybody? Zach Williams back with another episode for the men in Uncaged. If you don't know, this channel is all about the journey to the top 1%. And how do we get there? It's by becoming 1% better daily. Today, we're going to be talking about burnt toast. Now, obviously, if you saw last week, you will have noticed that things looked a little bit differently. We had to evacuate due to a hurricane, so we weren't in the studio. It was an absolutely, I don't want to call it a nightmare. Like, it was a great experience. Like, we made memories. Like, Lottie, for whatever reason, Lottie would be completely content if, like, all we did was took her to, like, a $150 hotel room. She loves staying in hotels for whatever odd reason. But, dude, we had great memories. What was it, an inconvenience? Yes. Was there some tough times? Yes. Was there some late nights? Yes. Was there some early mornings? Yes. It was like 26 hours of drive time. It just crazy stuff that happened. So you obviously saw a pivot last week, moving into a segue, like where there were so many conversations between last week and this week. And not only that, like literally just like two weeks prior, I had made a post. I've mentioned it on the podcast before and this time, like I was seeing it in real life as we were being displaced from our where we live and our just our routines and just life in general. And it's just absolutely insane to me that I literally know people that are going through what some would say is the absolute worst time in their life, literally right now as I'm recording this podcast. And I've got some people that are literally experiencing the highest of heights they've ever experienced in their entire life. And it's just absolutely polarizing to me to see both. And like, I don't know like how to even put into words what I experienced yesterday. Like, I guess I never really thought about myself as like an empath or being empathetic. I always come from I come from a wild upbringing, in personalities, people in my life, loved ones, and then the growing pains through building, some of the previous businesses that some of you guys know and some of the heartaches that I went through. And I've had to really have tough skin in one setting, but then be completely like just empathetic in others. And I've really been kind of, over the last couple of years, as weird as it is to say, been really developing a personality all over again that like has just been interesting for me to experience and share with you guys basically live in lifetime as I've gone down this like development or personal and professional development route. And dude, yesterday, like I was experiencing so much emotions, and I don't want to say for no reason. Like, I'm very blessed to be in a position where I get to speak with you guys all day, every day. And sometimes some of that gets very heavy on me. I mean, we've got some really heavy stories, especially some of the new guys that are coming into the free group that have never had a community of like-minded men like what we have here today, at their disposal to be able to lean in and to share their feelings and to share their thoughts and to be supported. And man, dude, some of them are going through some fucking hard times. Like, I definitely would not want to trade places with them. And sometimes it hits me hard. I mean, literally driving home from the gym yesterday, I literally remember being, I was benching and being under the weight and literally just felt like I couldn't get that last rep in or those last two reps in. And I was like so numb emotionally because of some of the stories that I had heard, one that I had like literally just read that almost made me break down into tears in the gym. And so I was like just completely numb under that bar. And I just remembered like thinking, as hard as it was for me to consider getting that weight off my chest, literally, some of these other positions that some of these men like yourself that are in and experiencing, as I was sitting there with the freedom to drive myself to the gym with a healthy family and, just beautiful weather. And like, I started to like just get a rush of feelings of the blessings that have come my way. And it helped me get those last 2 reps off my chest, as wild as it is to just appreciate where I am. And then so on the way home, I'm just emotionally, I'm spent. Like it was a very emotional gym session for me. And then like, I'm very, the music really gets me going. And, as I'm driving home, windows down, wind's blowing in my face, music's just cranked. And I'm just like, I'm crying on the way home. And so like I was experiencing like a very empathetic, moment that was very special for me. And it leads into kind of like what I wanted to talk about today about burnt toast is something that I've been really focusing on is understanding things, why they happen, and learning to control my emotions and really my reactions and my responses because like life happens. But what really dictates who we are as a human being is the way we respond and react to certain things. And so burnt toast, it's a metaphorical like analogy that says like these small inconveniences or small failures or small losses or small issues or problems that you have throughout the day could potentially end up being a massive blessing in the long run. And it was a great experience for me throughout this process of I've had to start saying it out loud to myself, like just no one else around, no one else to hear, but like something will happen. I'll be like, burnt toast, burnt toast, burnt toast. And it's even gotten to the point where I say it out loud in front of, Heather and Lottie too. Something will happen and it's an inconvenience where it's a small problem in comparison to everything else going on in life, especially some of the things that are happening in some of our friends' lives. And I'll just be like, burnt toast. And like you just move on. Like literally being able to control your emotions and your responses and reactions and saying, man, burnt toast. And then on about your day, controlling the controllables. And so the metaphor is basically saying, or part of the analogy would be like, all right, you burnt your toast. That sucks, right? Cool. Well, now you have to make another piece of toast. Well, in the process of you making that piece of toast, that time that you spent there could have prevented you from being at the wrong place at the wrong time. And so you have to really start to understand that sometimes things happen for you and not to you. And so it's just been really, really crazy to think about this. There's another analogy out there. I'm going to butcher it, so I'm not going to try and say it word for word, but I highly encourage you to read it because it's a very interesting read. I believe it's like a Japanese proverb, and that might even be where the burnt toast had come from. And it's like about a man who, I think his horse ran away. And so the local villagers were like, oh my gosh, it's so bad that your horse ran away. And he's like, yeah, maybe. And then they find the horse and then the horse is returned. And so all the villagers were like, oh, that's so great that the horse is back. And the gentleman's like, yeah, maybe. And then the gentleman's son comes and tries to break the horse, rides the horse, and he gets thrown and ends up breaking his leg. And the villagers would come back and they're like, oh, that's so horrible that this happened to your son. And the gentleman's like, yeah, maybe. Oh, and then all of a sudden, the local military or whatever come trying to recruit the young boy, but they can't because he's got a broken leg. So the villagers come back and like, oh, that's so great that, he broke his leg and couldn't go fight for the military. And the gentleman's like, yeah, maybe. So it's a very interesting read, but part of that I believe translates into some of this because now, I'm not saying don't celebrate the wins by any means. I love celebrating the wins, no matter how small or large they are. I believe that you should stop and smell the roses while you can, because I think a lot of us, especially high performers, high achievers, we get so, I don't want to say distracted, because you should stay focused on your goals and your dreams. But this is a part of the journey, and it's time for you to start appreciating the journey while you have it. Appreciating the journey because these are memories that you're making that you'll never have again. It's very strange to me. There's been multiple times throughout my career and entrepreneurship that, I've literally sat there and just basked in the moment of understanding that man, we're about to just take off. Things are about to be incredible. and just having to sit there and appreciate the moment and look at the way things, look from my viewpoint right then and there. How do things feel? What do things taste like? What is some real emotions that I'm celebrating right now? Because oftentimes, like, we forget to appreciate the little things. Like I said, man, yesterday, it was such an empathetic moment for me, and to be able to just sit there and appreciate what I have, because, many of y'all know, we go out of our way 20 minutes to go to work out at a gym. There's one literally 3 minutes on the road, but it's because we get to ride along the coastline, and it's just a beautiful experience, especially on a beautiful day like it's been, and take that appreciation in, because like one of the things I didn't want to do after moving to Florida was like start taking things for granted, because this was a life goal of my wife, of Heather's. So like, we're here now. We're living a part of her dream life. And so why do we do all this work? Why do we put in all this effort to achieve things, but yet never appreciate them? Because sometimes something happens, and we experience, whether it's a win, a loss, whether it's indifferent, but we're already focused on, okay, if it was a loss, how do we overcome that and get to the next good day? If it was a win, cool, how do we double down and win again? We're always focused on like the forward progression, which if you're been following Uncaged for any amount of time, if you went through the free 30-day challenge, if you're in VIP, you understand how much we drive forward progression into members' minds and brains and thought processes and schedules and calendars and time blocks. Forward progression is huge. But being able to appreciate where you've come from, we go through it in the 30-day challenge, like visualizing where you were to where you are now and then where you're going. Because a lot of times you're going to get burnt out if you don't take a moment to truly appreciate where you are in life. And part of that is understanding that some of these trials and tribulations that you go through are absolutely necessary to your success. So like I said, with burnt toast, some of these small inconveniences, these small losses, man, even some of the fucking bigger ones. Like, I truly feel like these things that happen to us will happen for us if you're in the right mindset. Because, I mean, if I look back and talk about my motorcycle wreck, that's a little aggressive, situation to say burnt toast to. Like, that was a life-altering situation. But if that had not happened, I may have continued going down a route that was not going to put me to where I am today, which I would not trade anything for the life that I have with Heather and Lottie. So, like, albeit that's a hard pill to swallow, thinking about everything that I went through, but I would take that pill over and over and over again to end up where I am today with the ones that are in my life. So it's a little bit tougher to say burnt toast when it comes to things like that. We've got guys in the group, been through things that I never would wish on my worst enemy. And as I get to talk to some of these guys that are joining the free group and getting on just discovery calls with guys and having onboarding calls with the VIP members and stuff, I'm very blessed to be able to refer people that are in the darkest days of their life, going through experiences that, again, I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy, and being able to refer them to someone who has been through that same dark hole and has come out of it on the other side and now gets to use that experience to bless other people's lives and help pull them out of that dark hole quicker than they were pulled out. And so it sucks, but then you start to look at all the lives that you get to impact, and that starts to become a positive thing in your life. So like, as you go through it, and with this, and it'll kind of lead me into the next thing that I have to say, is as you get your reps in of understanding this, like, and I don't know if it's like the law of averages, I don't know if it's the law of, I don't know what law it would be, but you start to get your reps in of saying, all right, burnt toast, you stubbed your toe, you sat down for a second, maybe it kept you from I don't know, someone walking up the stairs as you're walking down and you dodge them and you roll your ankle going down the stairs, like whatever. Like it could be very, very little things that start to gradually get, more and more impactful as you go. The burnt toast one, I think originally the analogy that someone along the line made up was like, you burn your toast, you got to make a second one, but then it keeps you from getting in a wreck on the way to work, like whatever that looks like, right? But these things that happen, these inconveniences, these losses, these issues, these problems that come that arise in your life, when you start with the smaller ones and you start to understand, it sucks, minor inconvenience, let's move on, burnt toast. And then another issue comes up. This sucks, burnt toast. Man, this is fucking rough, but burnt toast. And it keeps growing and growing and growing because you get your reps in, you get stronger. Mentally, you get tough. Like metaphorically, you become a better version of yourself because you are learning to increase your mental fortitude. And that kind of leads me into, the last piece that I'll kind of end with is like a lot of people, they want to, you pray to God to make you stronger, and God sends you a fucking workout, and then you bitch and moan and complain to him about the workout. Like you got to put in the work no matter what it is, right? And so like guys want to fucking get buff, but they don't want to go to the gym and get the reps in, right? Mentally, like your mind, your brain is a muscle, and we get opportunities all day, every day to get stronger mentally. Like you literally have the ability to control the way you react and respond. You do. It's the only thing you can control is you controlling the controllables. So as you go through life, shit happens. Maybe you run out of gas. Maybe you get no call, no showed. A lot of guys bitch about that. Pick up the fucking phone and start dialing because the person that you end up connecting with is who you're supposed to connect with. Clearly the person that no call, no showed you or ghosted you or whatever ain't fucking that. They're not the ones you're supposed to be working with or whatever the case is. Like as you go through life, shit is going to happen. You can't control outside forces. What you do control is yourself and the way you react and you respond. So what is going on? But not only that is recognizing these as workouts, recognizing these as opportunities to get stronger, recognizing these as opportunities to become a better version of yourself. This is a blessing to you, but you're looking at it as the negative. The law of attraction will fucking kick in. You keep looking at everything in a negative light, negative shit's going to keep happening. But if you look at everything as an opportunity to learn and an opportunity to grow and an opportunity to get bigger and an opportunity to get reps in, you're going to start attracting more and more opportunities for growth. Because at the end of the day, what are we really doing here? If you want to continue doing the same shit over and over and over and being the same fucking miserable piece of shit that you are right now, then continue doing that shit. Turn this episode off. Leave the Uncaged group, like whatever the case is. But this is your chance. This is your opportunity. This is what you looked for when you clicked on this video. When you joined Uncaged is to become better. No one joined Uncaged to stay the fucking same. And it's little things like this that are your workouts, are your opportunities for growth. But if you want to stay in that negative mindset, it's going to keep pulling you down, 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 which is ultimately going to affect us because we do believe in the law of averages. So if you aren't putting in the fucking work and you're constantly being pessimistic and pulling everything down, you're pulling us down and you will eventually be sniffed out and cut loose because we aren't going to be drugged to the bottom because of you. So we are leaning on you. We are expecting you. We are praying and hoping that you will recognize this and start to grow yourself, because the better that we all are individually, the better we will be collectively, which is great fucking news, because the better that we all are collectively, the better we all will be individually. So I don't care what you're going through right now. I need you to start understanding and recognizing burnt toast when it comes into your life. I need you to start appreciating the workouts as you get the ability to actually fucking work out and get the reps in. I need you to pull your head out of your ass. I need you to be a positive fucking influence in the Uncaged group. If you got more more questions about how you can involve yourself and engage in the group more, reach out to any of the VIP members and the moderators and the admins. We are more than happy to tell you what you could do to help build up the law of averages inside the group. Hope to hear more from you. If you need any more information about Uncaged, the VIP group, anything else, go to uncagedcrew.com and we'll see you inside. Peace.